Hello, everyone, and welcome to Effective Communication with me, Matt. If this is the first time that you've landed on the channel, then thank you for coming. And if you enjoy what you see today, please do consider liking and subscribing. It will make a massive difference as I look to grow the channel. And for those of you returning, thanks for coming back. So what are we going to cover this week? Well, we're going to cover a very simple and effective communication technique that will help you get a lot more value and add a lot more meaning to the conversations that you're having, whether that's part of your personal life or professionally. And what we're going to be talking about today is open questions. Now, an open question is a question that you ask somebody to which the response is more than just yes or no. It's about really kind of inviting the person you're speaking to think and then provide a response based on that thought. And if you keep the questions down a general positive line, what you also do through this is improve the way that person's feeling. You make them think about things that make them happy. They associate those happy thoughts and feelings with you, and it generally helps you build a nice increased level of rapport with that person very quickly compared to more traditional or closed questioning routes that you can go down. So, for example, you might ask someone, did you have a good weekend? Are you feeling okay? Things like that are closed questions to which the person can just say yes or no. You can expand on them and build out from there, but ultimately what we're looking to do from the start is really give someone permission to open up and talk more. So the foundation words that you're going to use as the building blocks for these questions are who, what, why, when, where, and how. Using those 6 questions, you can build any type of line of questioning to get to where you want to go. So, for example, you could ask someone, what do you enjoy doing in your free time? Tell me about your hobbies and interests. Or maybe you go down the, what kind of books do you enjoy to read? What's your favorite type of film? Or who's your favorite artist? How do you like to spend your free time? How was your weekend? Things like that generally allow people to elaborate on what they do. And then you can also apply it to kind of the professional side of things in terms of if someone asks you to do something, it can be a case of, oh, that's great. How can I make sure that I do that job as best that I can? What are the key things within this set of responsibilities that I need to make sure I absolutely nail? It's a way to show that you're taking on board what's being said to you and then expanding upon it. So another question that you might ask someone is, what's the best restaurant that you've been to recently? Or what's your favorite restaurant? So someone comes back and says, my favorite restaurant is Franco's Italian. And you say, oh, great. Why is Franco's Italian your favorite restaurant? Franco's is my favorite restaurant because the staff are super attentive and I just absolutely love the way that I'm treated there. Oh, great. So what is it that the staff there do that sets them apart? Oh, well, they know my name, my wife's name, my partner's name, my kids. They sit us on our favorite table every time and they give us some great food recommendations. And you can draw the conversation on from there. It's as long as you want to take it on. But the deeper you go, the more someone will generally appreciate it, because never forget that people love to talk about themselves. It's a common fact, and if not about themselves, about what they're passionate about. So it's what are your passions in life? What are your goals? What are the objectives that you're looking to achieve within the next 5 years? Don't get me wrong, it's not the same questions for everyone. You need to get the vibe of the person and tailor what you say to them. But as you get to know them and you draw the conversations further and further on, you'll generally get the knack for how best to approach different situations. So just to kind of recap that bit, you want to use the words who, what, why, when, where, and how. Who, what, and how are generally usable for just about anything you want to ask, but the other ones wrap into it as you kind of go through the conversation. Now, some really important bits to remember here are that this has to be genuine. You can't just ask the questions in a monotonous phone or in a monotonous way, single tone of voice, and just pretty much act like you're reading off a phone. This needs to be done with genuine, sincere interest, coupled with active listening to make sure that you are genuinely taking on board what they say. And then once they've said something to you, off the back of that, you can then ask more questions. Don't listen to respond. Actively listen, pause, and then come back to them with a question relevant to what they've just said, because it shows that you're actually giving them the time of day, taking on board what it is they're telling you, and it will make them feel much more appreciated. And the one key thing this will incur is reciprocity from the person that you're speaking to, because it will naturally get to a point where you've made them feel good about themselves, they've enjoyed talking about past memories, what they've just been up to, what they're passionate about, and then that will most likely bring out a question like, oh, so what are your passions? How was your weekend? What are you planning to do? anything around those lines. If they're a decent person, they'll come back and they'll reciprocate. If they just want to talk about themselves and don't care about you, then just kind of leave it there. Say, oh, thank you for your time. Great to meet you. Lovely to learn more. However you want to end it off, but just make sure that you are kind, positive, body language is there, and that you're doing everything you can to make it a positive experience for that person, whether it's part of small talk, business development, settling in at a new company, generally just trying to make new friends. Whatever it is you're doing, if you use open questions to find out about the other person, their goals, interests, likes, it will always go a lot further than just standard back and forth. Don't get me wrong, small talk, which we'll cover further down the line, is necessary to start the conversation and get things going. Sometimes you have to ask an incredibly obvious question, but it proves to them that you want to open a dialogue, and that's where it will start from. Now, if you want to expand on this and do some learning outside of these videos, I would highly recommend reading How to Talk to Anyone by Lyle Lowndes. It's a timeless book because the lessons and applications that you get taught in there in terms of body language, eye contact, speech patterns, inflections in the way that you talk, and how to introduce other people to each other. Everything in there is really important for basically applying the initial building blocks to any social relationship, whether you're learning to meet people or introducing other people. There's some really, really good stuff in there. So that's How to Talk to Anyone by Lyle Lowndes. Again, available on Audible, Kindle, Amazon. You can buy it at your local bookshop or in the charity shop sometimes if you're having a look around. But it's another book that, on top of how to win friends and influence people, will really help you develop what it is that you're looking to achieve. So I hope you found this lesson helpful today. Remember, who, what, why, where, when, how, active listening, positive, great energy in your voice, and at the end of the day, if the people don't lean in and show an interest to come back, on to the next one. And if they're great, then maybe finish it off with, oh, can we exchange numbers? Can we add each other on Facebook? Just do something to build on that relationship, because you never know, any further down the line, that person may be the difference between you getting a job or not, or being invited to an opportunity, or could just be your next best friend. You never know. So yeah, go out there, have fun with it, enjoy yourselves, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later, guys.